Get out! Get out!
Hey, dude, let him just get out of the car.
Get out! Get out! Get out!
2 days later.
Lost her baby after being beaten up by 3 women. Police charged her alleged attackers.
3 suspects are being charged for allegedly fighting a woman. According to the affidavit, all 3 suspects knew the victim was pregnant, but that did not stop them from kicking her in the stomach. 2 of them appeared in court today.
You're here to be arraigned on the charge of aggravated assault.
Both Dayla Suggs and Tanao Luster can face up to 15 years in prison and a $10,000 fine if convicted of the charge. You can see Suggs smiling in her mugshot, and she did the same thing in court today.
A with the criminal attempt.
The affidavit states on July 2nd, the victim notified Memphis police that Suggs texted her that she was coming over to fight her and the victim's family member at a field next to her house. The victim told police 10 minutes later, Suggs texted, "We're here." The victim said she went outside. Suggs began punching her until she fell to the ground. She says that's when Luster began kicking her in the back and the stomach, while a 3rd suspect recorded. The victim told police she was 3 months pregnant at the time and provided officers with documentation that she lost a baby 3 days after the fight. We asked Memphis police if the charge of aggravated assault reflected a loss of an unborn child. They say the district attorney office reviewed the facts of the case, and he determined that the probable cause supported this charge. Charges can be amended.
The bill has been set at $25,000.
Luster and Suggs tell the judge they are not sure if they can hire a lawyer, but they are certain their family will bail them out.
If you're still here and they haven't hired you a lawyer, I will give you a public defender.
The bail review hearing for both suspects is set for Monday. The 3rd suspect has a warrant out for her arrest and has not been booked yet.
I already know that this video is not going to get a lot of comments. It's not going to get a lot of views because it's a video highlighting what it is that Black women decided to do. And this is something that I've tried to highlight time and time again. And I told people for years that if you don't come at this situation and this problem, if you don't try to fix it, it's going to get worse. And you're going to have loss of life that is going to take place inevitably. And that's what took place. The mother decided to meet up with the individuals. And again, before anybody states that, hey, the mother's to blame, nobody's saying that the mother doesn't have a hand directly in it. She has to suffer for what took place. She had to suffer through that physically. Now she's going to have to suffer through that emotionally, dealing with the loss of her child. So there's no reason to even deep dive directly into that one. The problem in the situation is the fact of the multitude of voices and people that you were able to hear. Number one, you have somebody that drove her there. They need to get charged with murder as well. You have the people that were recording. They need to get charged with murder as well. The other people that were there in a circle just laughing and being jovial and all this other type of stuff, they need to be charged with murder as well. It makes no sense that you're going to charge the 3 women who obviously had a heavy hand in the loss of life, but you're going to neglect to charge anybody that was an accessory, anybody that had previous or that were privy to the knowledge that this was going to take place. Number 2, you had Black women there that decided that, you know what, we don't care that she's pregnant. We don't care that there's somebody there who can't defend themselves. Because we're emotional, because we're ratchet, because we're Glykeshas, we're going to do whatever it is that we want to do in order to teach and show her a lesson, even if that means the sacrifice of this woman's child. And to show you how much they didn't care, you saw them smiling in the courtroom. You saw them smiling directly on the photos that they took with the police. And then they stated that they know that their family is going to get them out. And when I happen to say that we have problems and issues in the Black community, the main thing that I get from a lot of people is that we're not a monolith. And people want to use the example of When white people do something, guess what? Nobody's trying to sit up there and say that they're monolithic. No, actually, people do. When it deals with slavery, when it deals with the tragedy of history that black people have had to suffer by the hands of white people and the white government and the system that is, people categorize all white people because that's generational. Because even though they may not have had a hand in it, they still profit directly from what it is that their previous family members, their forefathers, the people within their whole ecosystem has created directly for them so that they can benefit. So whenever it is that I talk about these issues, I say the black community because this has to do with the black community. Because no matter wherever you think that you are amongst this whole thing, if you think that you are an individual and your family is completely separate, you can go ahead and stay idly by and believe that. But I can promise you, sooner or later, whether you see it or not, the same issues that I talk about here are going to hit your doorstep one way or another. It doesn't matter if you're dead or gone. It's still going to hit your doorstep. You just won't be able to do anything about it, but you'll be able to see it. You'll know that it exists. You'll be able to watch every single thing that happens while you sit there. It doesn't matter if you're with God or whoever you believe in. You'll be sitting there in the ethos, in the aether, and you'll be watching as your family is suffering because these were problems that you've been knew about, that you decided that you didn't want to speak on, you didn't want to be a part of, you wanted to say that you were away from it, you wanted to say that this was not going to affect you and yours. I keep trying to tell y'all, sooner or later, it's going to affect everybody, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. So, mind you, this young woman had to suffer this. This could be your daughter. This could be your mother. This could be your aunt. This could be your niece. This could be your granddaughter. At a certain point in time, the women in your family are going to meet up somehow, some way with the ignorance in the black community. And that ignorance is going to full force show their face, and they're either going to maim, they're going to hospitalize, or they're going to take the life, or maybe all three, of one of your family members, your relatives, or your child. And you're going to sit here and come to the black community on the news. You're going to be weeping and crying like everybody else and asking people for help, asking people to turn those people in if you know who they are, or drop tips and all this other type of stuff. You as a person that says that we're not a monolith are going to come to the community, aka a monolith, and try to ask for some type of help. Now ask me, what type of sense does that make? So my main point in bringing this up is that the moment in time that we come together as a community, we can fix this and we can stop this from taking place. We can stop this from happening. That's all I want to happen. But like I said, a lot of people are too pig-headed and too hard-headed, too thick-headed to actually understand and hear the words that I've been speaking for years. I guess a lot of y'all learn through pain, and you guys are meant to suffer. So have directly at it.